Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing the purchase of my new house. In this video, we're going to go through all of our requirements and some of the financial decisions we made. In the next few episodes, I'm going to be sharing the renovation, some of the design choices we make, and obviously how much it costs us. Don't forget you can hit the subscribe button below if you'd like to follow along in our renovation journey. First of all, before I start the video, I must introduce myself. My name's Gary. I usually talk about investing in property and the journey towards financial independence. So Katie and I have purchased the house, and I thought, do you know what? This is such a huge financial decision. I have to share it with you guys. So first of all, I'm going to go through the sort of thing we were looking for. So I've made some notes. First up, our overall budget, what we could afford between the two of us was £550,000. That was the top budget. Now straight away, I knew I didn't want to go anywhere near that much. It was just too much money to put into our house that really is not one of my sort of investments, so to speak. Instead, it's more somewhere for me to live. This was our first little battle, deciding exactly the sort of budget we're going to spend on a house. In my opinion, we approached it quite sensibly and we wrote down some of our requirements. So the most important thing to both of us was, of course, the location. Luckily, Katie was also on board with it being a financial decision too. So we were both looking for things that were financially right for both of us. Katie ideally wanted at least a 3-bedroom house. I always liked the idea of potentially having an open plan living space downstairs. So after many hours of scrolling through Rightmove, we found that the sort of properties that we were looking for ranged anywhere between about 300,000 to 400,000 in this location. I know it's a massive jump, but in this particular area, the house prices did vary quite a lot. We went and viewed around 6 or 7 properties and there was often something wrong. The first house we had an offer accepted on, we ended up losing out on, and that was because someone come in with a higher offer and they were a cash buyer. So unfortunately, the sellers of that house let us down, which was disappointing. But we ended up finding this property. It's a 3-bedroom terraced house. I'm going to be sharing all of the works inside this house. So to give you a bit of an update about some of the things this house had that ticked some of our boxes. Firstly, most of the windows and doors had been replaced just 2 years before. Now we knew that was going to be a massive cost, so obviously it was a big advantage that a lot of the work had already been done. Next up, it ticked the box for location. Of course, the next one was cost. We offered £290,000 and we explained that this was going to be our final offer. We were in a big advantage as I had no property to sell and Katie had actually already sold her previous house. So being in such a great position, we actually got a call back from the agent the next day saying that the offer had been accepted. Next up with the room sizes, all 3 room sizes are really good. The master bedroom is about 16 foot, which is very big. It's one of the biggest we actually saw from all the properties we viewed. And the 2 smaller bedrooms are still great double-sized rooms, which is very handy as we both work from home. It does have a potential for open plan living space. We are in the process of getting quotes about having some walls taken out and making an open plan kitchen, diner, lounge area. Obviously, I'm going to be documenting all of that on the next few episodes on YouTube. And then finally, another big tick box for us was it did actually currently have a driveway and parking in the road nearby. Some of the houses we'd seen in the local area were on much busier roads and they didn't have a driveway. The 2 main downsides of the property, firstly is the room layout downstairs. I know that's quite a big one, but the room is almost about a foot or two too small in width. We are really struggling right now of where the lounge is going to fit, where the sofa is going to fit, especially if we go open plan. And the second thing is the garden is north facing, I believe, so the sun is there in the morning. In the summer we checked it out, it's there till about 5 or 6 p.m. in the garden right down the end, so it's not ideal for those sort of sun worshippers that love being out in the garden until late in the evening. It looks like we're going to get good sun until about 4 or 5 p.m. in the summer. Next up, we're going to talk about the financial decisions we made when buying the property. So firstly, we decided to go for a 35-year mortgage. The reason we made that decision is if we put down a 15% deposit, it got our interest rate down to 2.14%. Now the interest rate, I have to admit, you're probably probably saying isn't that fantastic to what is available. At the time there was a lot of problems, firstly with me being self-employed and my accounts not being fantastic. We used a mortgage broker who knew all of the best lenders for us to approach in my current situation, and our monthly payment is around $837 per calendar month. Now, the reason we did it over such a long period of time was for a few different reasons. Firstly, I'm a great believer that while interest rates are so low, we can potentially be making more money from our investments elsewhere. Our mortgage was fixed for 2 years. Now, the reason we chose 2 years is we are hoping to have the renovations well done within the 2 years. So once the renovation works are completed, hopefully the house price will be worth a lot more than what we paid for it. On current house prices, it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the region of 360 to 365 at the level that we're planning on doing the works to. Of course, the downside could be the property prices drop, but if they don't, this will mean our loan to value could go down from 85% to about 67%. Finally, once the works are complete, we plan to overpay the mortgage slightly. We've checked already, and our mortgage balance can be overpaid by up to 10% each year. To be honest, this is something Katie wants to do more than me, but of course relationships are all about compromise. But in her eyes, reducing her mortgage is very important to her, so I completely respect that, and I think there is much worse things we could be doing with our money right now. In the next video, I'm going to be going through all of the works that we plan to do, and I'm going to be sharing video updates of the renovation as we go. I'm going to go into every detail, and hopefully you guys can join us on this exciting journey. I'll see you very soon. Take care, guys.